No, it was a fun experience. Had a great time in Spain. Being able to spend it with Coach and some of the great coaches in college basketball and NBA, and elite players in the league as well. Formed a brotherhood, and we went there to accomplish one goal, and it's to win a gold medal, and that's what we did. So I had a fun time. Now it's time to get back to work. Try to do the same here.
Yeah, I feel the same way as AD. I had a really good time. We went to get a gold medal. We did that, and along the way formed a lot of relationships that'll last for the rest of my life, and that was really cool. And to be able to win a gold medal with him was special for us, to be out there on the floor in the pregame talking about, this is where we want to be someday as a team, and then in the postgame just hugging each other and celebrating it and doing all that stuff was really cool. And so it was great to represent my country, my family, this organization, and the city of New Orleans in a way that I could never do outside of the NBA.
Anthony, how was this experience different than your Olympic experience?
Yeah, in 2012, I was kind of like, a 12th guy, taking everything in, watching them guys, work and, compete to the highest level in some of the best competition, internationally. So it was fun. That was the first time, ever, winning something to that extreme. Of course, I won a national championship, but when you win a gold medal, there's only a handful of guys who can say they won a gold medal. So and to do it at 19, so that's a great experience. But I think this time, I was a lot more involved. I was looked upon to be one of them guys who got the team going and bring that energy and effort, offensively and defensively. So it was fun. If I had a chance to do it again, I definitely will.
Was it easy to embrace that responsibility for you, being as Monty called you, the lead dog among the alphas?
Yeah, because I try to do it here as well, so it was kind of, an extension of the season, and a lot of them guys can lead as well, and leaders of their team. So I was trying to take some of the stuff that they do, how they lead, and try to pick it up so I can have it, coming back into this season.
Anthony, do you feel you are a different player than what you were when the season ended and then so on?
Yeah, I got better, not just as a player, but as a person, hanging around them guys, the coaches. You're going to get better regardless if you're playing or not. The way we worked, we didn't work that long, in practice, but when we did, step on the floor, it was all about, working hard and make sure that we keep our heads on straight to win a gold medal. And I was just improving, and having coach there, knowing what I need to work on for the season, was even better. But we had a head start, like Tibbs and Derek did as well. So we kind of had a head start and try to figure out, all right, now the practice is over, let's get some extra work in and figure out, what we need to work on for the season to get better. So we kind of used that time as well to prepare.
There were times when defensively you did some things and showed more than all-court player, like steal the ball, bring it up, and throw it loud or something like that. Do you feel
I don't remember that play.
No.
No.
You feel the all-court game is just better. How are you different as a player?
When you have so many guys who can score the ball and do different things, everybody kind of take a step back because you don't need to do everything that you might need to do with your respective teams. So there, I was really, trying to work on my post game. I know they was trying to feed the ball into the post a lot, so I was trying to really, figure out, how to make quicker moves or shoot over guys, read the defense, things like that. I try to use that, that time to definitely work on things that I probably wouldn't have a chance to work on during the season.
Anthony, did you get a chance to talk to Amir while you guys were over there?
Yeah, it was real, brief. We played right after them, so couldn't talk long, had to warm up. But Coach probably told y'all before, but he said he just he told Coach that he just wants to rebound and defend, and so I didn't believe it. Then Coach called me over there and he said it again. So I look like the Kool-Aid man when he said that. So but he's gonna be a great player for us. Be able to defend bigger guys. And rebound the ball. He does a great job of staying out of foul trouble. Being able to run the floor. So he's going to be a big key part for this team, and I'm just excited to get everything started.
Monty, before training camp started in July, you had said that you had hoped that Anthony would take that next step as a leader in this process. Did you see that transformation take place in Vegas and then in New York and Chicago and then in Spain?
I couldn't tell you, the place or the timing of it all, but over the period of, from Vegas to Madrid, I just watched him watch other people. He was around a former MVP. He watched Harden. People don't know how hard Harden works, and I think AD was able to watch him work an hour, 2 hours before practice with his trainer and then come to practice. And I think that had an impact on him. The great ones do more. And I think he looked at that in our after practice workouts when he and I got going. I think that had an impact on him, just watching those guys. We had practices in Vegas, and after a practice, Harden, Durant, and Paul George would go play one-on-one for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and they would try to take each other's heads off. And I would look at him and I'd be like, you think I'm crazy? That's the stuff I'm trying to get you to do. That's the greatness side of it that everybody can't do. And I was really wanting him to get in those games. And then, unfortunately, Paul got hurt and the week went by so fast. But I think watching him watch those guys helped him to grow. And so I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of that back to our team. And I don't know what he's going to add, but it'll be interesting to see how all that stuff impacted him, because I'm sure it did, just watching those guys work.
And what did you take from the experience? What did you learn from that? How did you grow as a coach?
I learned how to, deal with elite players. I got this reputation now. I've heard it all summer, on how tough I am on guys. And I think the one thing I learned from Coach K, Mr. Colangelo, Coach Boeheim, they didn't push it down my throat, but they got it across to me in so many ways to trust my guys more. And I think that's the thing that I thought I did it a little bit last year in letting Tyreek play more in his game, but that was the thing that I pulled away from this situation. The whole experience was, giving guys a little more freedom to play their game, not try to hamstring guys. And I thought I did it a little bit, but I think it's something that I'm still working on. Because I was pretty tough on him his first year. He won't admit it, but after his first year, he was like, this guy's crazy. And then second year, I kind of said, okay, now it's time for you to go. But I think I can be a lot better at that. And I saw that a lot this summer.
So that means you got the green light now from 25 feet?
There's no traffic lights out there at 25 feet. But I think when guys work on their game, you got to let them play. And that's my biggest thing. If you don't work on it, then don't expect me to let you go out there and do it, because my responsibility is to the team. But all of our guys work. I mean, our culture is set. And it's something that I feel like I can really improve upon. Not making guys worry about taking a bad shot. I may know it's a bad shot and they know it, but we can discuss it the next day in film where it will get discussed.
You think the experience for you was a situation
Yeah.
You think that was the biggest value for you an experience like that with Team USA or something?
Yeah, I mean, it was both ways. Like I learned a lot being around all of those people, USA basketball staff, NBA people, Mr. Colangelo. I was amazed at how much they pulled from me. You know, Monty, how do you guys do film? And I showed them, and we started doing it. They had never done the film the way we do it here with the graphics and things like that. And so by the end of our trip in Madrid, we were doing film the way we typically do it here in New Orleans. And so there were other ways that you added to the pot. Like Coach K always wanted to know how you deal with NBA players on this particular day. Like we had 5 games in 6 days, or 6 days. And he was really like worried about how do we approach, you know, the next day. Do we go to the gym? Do we, you know, let the guys sleep in? And so we adjusted our practices based on the things that we do in Chicago and New Orleans to help our guys get enough rest, but at the same time, get the work in that we needed. And we had a lot of optional days for the guys. And that's something that college teams, there's no options in college. But in the league, you have to give guys those days. And so that was eye-opening for me, how many questions that Coach K would ask me, you know, about how do you do this? You know, what do you guys do in this situation? And I didn't expect that.
Monty, given you guys are a couple weeks away from starting the camp, were you pleased or at least happy with the makeup of the roster?
I think I'm always going to be, you know, tweaking and wanting to get I don't think any coach in the NBA is happy with their roster. But I am excited about the guys we have, just because we've added guys that I feel like complement the way I like to play. Omer is a defensive center that rebounds, plays great position defense, and has a high IQ and has great drive and character. Getting Drew and Ryan back will be like signing 2 free agents. And so Drew's one of the better defensive point guards in the league who plays both ways. So I'm excited about our roster. That doesn't mean, you know, I'm not always trying to figure out ways for us to get better. I think our bench, we got to figure out how much depth we have. We don't know. And then our starters have to do a good job of gelling in the time that we have. But these are questions for media day. Like, you're trying to get ahead. Like no media day questions right now. I know you got one.
I got one for AD actually. And then how much more comfortable are you in being the man now? You know, the guy that gets the commercials, you know, won the 2 gold medals, and doing all the stuff that comes along with being like the face of the franchise.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable, but at the end of the day, I just want to play basketball, to be honest. You know, it's tough, you know, coming in and watching these guys work, you know, play pickup, lifts, and everything like that. And I'm sitting there watching, you just like want to jump in, you know. And one of the coaches today, I said, you never know, I might just jump in tomorrow. He was like, nah, like, it's not going to happen, you know. So, I mean, you know, I just want to play ball, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, it comes with the territory, you know. So, you know, if you want to be, you know, one of the great ones, you know, you have to make sure you deal with all of this as well.
Did you pull it all from like the guys like Harden and whatnot, or I guess KD in the little time that he was there, as far as like how to deal with that aspect of being like the superstar type of player?
I mean, them guys do it as well, you know, whether we're in Vegas or Chicago, New York, Barcelona, you know, guys had commercials and appearances and, you know, things like that. So, you know, you just got to do it. You know, if you, like I said, you want to be that guy that you claim you want to be, then, you know, you, at the end of the day, you know, it's going to come with it and you have to do it, or not, they're going to find someone else.
Both of you, I guess, talk about, I know there are some people who criticize international play because it doesn't necessarily benefit the franchise, but it's tremendous to represent your country and win a gold medal. What are your feelings on that? Because it is a lot of play, and now you have a season and potentially playoffs, which is a long haul for you. And as a coach, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, like I said, it's a great honor, to represent your country and play international, especially when you win a gold medal. Not too many, like I said before, not too many guys can say they won a gold medal. So it's a big accomplishment, and I think it kind of keeps you in the groove. Some guys take maybe month and a half off, and then try to use training camp to get in the groove or whatever. Where try to stay in the groove. That whole month and a half, someone might take off, going in training camp rolling. So that's how I look at it. And probably take a week off now and then start slowly getting back into it. And then by the time training camp comes, you're ready to go.
Are you worried about fatigue being an issue when a player has that busy this summer? Have you thought about that at all?
No, I don't worry about it. It's something that you plan for, just because I've been around Pop for a while, and then I coached under Nate McMillan, so I kind of had an idea of what to expect. I think you have to be smart about these guys when they do come back, because they have played a lot of basketball, but guys are going to do that anyway. I mean, the guys who are in the league who aren't on this team, they're in LA, Chicago, various cities around the country working out 4, 5, 6 hours a day. So I don't think there's much of a difference. The only thing you worry about, from my perspective, is the mental stress of it all, because guys are playing for gold medals, and you want them to be able to be fresh mentally going into the season. But physically, I think our guys are going to be fine. All of the guys who've played in these tournaments, whether it be the Olympics or the World Cup, they always go into the season rolling, because they're, like AD said, they're in shape, they're in a groove, and they have a bit of a head start on the rest of the league.
Hey, Monty, I'll try not to ask a easy question. Leading up to training camp and media day, how much discussion will you have with Coach Ayers and Dell about starters, backups, Sheik, Evans playing as a starter with Gordon? How much discussion, or do you already have something set that you think you know what you want to go with, or is it kind of a work in progress leading up to that point?
No, we've been talking the whole time. I stayed in touch with the staff via text, or I'd take a picture. That's the cool thing about these phones now, man. I'm like learning how to use mine. And so you could take a picture and like send it. So I'd write a play down. I'd be watching Serbia or Slovenia, and I'd write the play down, take a picture, and like send it. And I was like, man, these phones are pretty cool. And so I just stayed in constant contact with them about everything. They let me know how the gym was going, who was in the gym, rotations, minutes, who's going to be in this position, the depth that we think we may have. All those things were a part of our discussions. Because even though I was on the Olympic team or the World Cup team with the national team, my responsibility is always here first. And so I didn't want to lose sight of that. And our coaches did an unreal job of keeping our gym going, and it's popping. And it's been popping since late July.
Coach Anthony at 21 has 2 gold medals. And the team this year, Team USA, seemed to go a little bit more toward the defense for focus. Would you talk about his future and how bright it is with USA basketball and just international play?
I think for him, it's whatever he wants to do. These guys, it's a huge commitment. That's an understatement, but I think it's whatever he wants to do. At his age, he's 21, and he's accomplished a lot with the team, and he has equity with the team. So if he wants to play on the next 4 or 5 teams, I'm sure they'll have him. And I think if he wants to, he'll go down as one of the better players in the history of the game as far as the U.S. team is concerned, because not many guys got a chance to start as young as he did and get a gold medal. I think LeBron and those guys started early, but they didn't get the gold right away. He's been blessed to get a gold right out the gate and then lead a team to the gold in the World Cup. So I think it'll be on him as to what he wants to do. And, you know, all those guys, they like that stuff because they get all those tweet followers and stuff overseas, and you know, so they like all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure he'll want to do it even more. So.
Last two questions,
Do
guys.
you need to take a step back or take some vacation time? Like you got busy summer basketball.
Yeah, no, you know, Tibbs and I were talking about that. Like, I feel like I'm ready to go, and that one thing that goes without saying when you talk to coaches, like the month of October, we kind of need our time to like get into a groove. Like, when do I call a timeout? You know, what play to draw up, rotations. I don't think I'll have that curve or a gap because I've been in it and playing for something that's pretty big. And so I'm ready to go. I got the head coaches meetings and stuff in Chicago this week, but I'm going to take Saturday, Sunday, and a couple of days next week. But after that, I'm going to be ready to go. And like I said, I'm part of it is because I'm so excited about the guys we have and the way our gym is popping right now. It's like AD just said, like you want to get out there and play and coach because the gym is rolling right now. But both of us are kind of like off to the side, just waiting our turn.
Coach, my last question, I guess the last question, how important or beneficial do you think it was for AD to deal with the referees in the way that it seemed at times that, you know, you guys were playing against two teams in a sense? So just the mental aspect of you know, getting prepared for the season and having to deal with something like that.
Yeah, I think it is a different style of refereeing with the FIBA referees. I think he probably realized you can't really talk to those guys much. There's not as much communication between the coaches and players and the referees as there is here. How that translates, I don't know. I think, you know, the game is just different. So I'm not sure if you can take a lot from that. But I think he just learned you just got to play, you know, and adjust. That's probably the biggest thing, making that adjustment. Because the refereeing over there is a bit different. You know, they don't call traveling the same way. You know, you can't get up and cheer for your teammate. They make you sit down overseas. And that was a big adjustment for them. Like, we had to, you know, grab them and tell them to sit down because it's a tech. So I think adjusting to the different styles of refereeing can help him going into the season, because the NBA is like that in a little way. Sometimes games are officiated differently from the Eastern Conference to the West, so maybe that'll help him in that regard.